I was just 19 when I thought I had found love, real love. His name was Adam, and to me, he was everything I had ever dreamed of. He listened when no one else did. He made me feel seen, truly seen. My parents, well, they thought I was too young, that I didn't know what love was. But they didn't understand the fire inside me, that desperate, burning need to be free. So, one night, I packed a small bag, left a note on my pillow, and ran away. The city lights looked so beautiful as I sat beside him in the car, believing with every fiber of my being that I was driving toward happiness. I didn't realize I was leaving behind my peace, my family, and the version of myself that truly loved me. I was so sure this was my great escape, my grand adventure. The first few months were perfect, like a scene from a movie. We rented a tiny apartment. It had cracked walls, but it was full of our dreams. He promised that he will take care of everything. So I played my part. I cooked, I cleaned, I waited for him to come home from work each day, my heart fluttering with anticipation. We didn't have much money, but I was convinced love was enough. I told myself it was all we needed. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, at first, things began to change. He started coming home late. Then came the faint smell of perfume that wasn't mine, clinging to his jacket. The silence during dinner grew louder than any argument. The warmth that once filled his eyes when he looked at me faded, replaced by something cold, distant, and cruel. I tried to ignore it. I wanted to believe it was just stress from work, that things would get better. But deep down a knot of fear was tightening in my stomach. I knew. One night, he stumbled through the door, drunk. He looked at me with eyes I didn't recognize, eyes filled with a chilling emptiness. And then he said the words that shattered my entire world into a million pieces. "You shouldn't have come with me. I never asked you to eat." In that moment, it felt like the floor had fallen away beneath me. My whole world, the one I had built around him, collapsed. I had left everything, my family, my home, my identity, for someone who now saw me as nothing more than a burden. I cried myself to sleep that night, feeling utterly alone in a city that had suddenly transformed from a dream into a prison. Days turned into weeks, and a terrifying realization began to dawn on me. I didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't his girlfriend. Not really. I wasn't a daughter. I wasn't even myself. I was just lost, adrift. One morning, I caught my reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror and barely recognized the girl staring back. Her eyes were hollow and tired. Her once bright dreams had faded to gray, but somewhere deep inside, buried beneath all the pain and confusion, there was still a spark. A tiny, resilient voice whispering, "Go home." It was a faint sound at first, but it grew stronger every day. So, I packed the same small bag I had once so eagerly run away with. This time, there was no excitement, just a heavy ache in my chest. No one stopped me. No one even noticed I was leaving. The city that once looked so magical and full of promise now just felt hollow and empty. I took a bus back to my hometown, the long miles stretching out before me. The journey was silent, but my heart was louder than ever, beating with a frantic rhythm of regret and, surprisingly, a sliver of hope. When I finally reached my front door, my hands were shaking. My mother opened it. She didn't say a word. She didn't lecture me or ask where I'd been. She just hugged me, a tight, desperate embrace, as if she was trying to piece me back together, to protect me from everything I'd done to myself. And in that hug, surrounded by the familiar scent of home, I found what I had been searching for all along, a love that never left, a love that didn't demand I change, but simply welcomed me back. Years have passed since then. When people ask about my past, I don't hide it. I don't feel shame anymore, because my story isn't about the mistakes I made. It's about learning, about resilience, about the long journey back to myself. Sometimes we lose ourselves completely while chasing someone else's dream or what we think is love. But the beautiful thing about being lost is that you can always find your way back. You can always start over. If you're watching this and you feel lost or alone, please remember this. You don't need to run away to be loved. You don't need to sacrifice who you are for someone else. You just need to come home to yourself. This was I Left Home for Him and Lost Myself, brought to you by Stories We Don't Tell, a place where hidden emotions can finally find a voice. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe for more untold stories that touch the soul. Thank you for listening.